Welcome to The Truth Will Set You Free. This is episode 42. I took a little bit of a break and we're back at it now. So, episode 42, the contracts you never signed and reclaiming sovereignty from unconscious agreement. Introduction. The hidden agreements. Much of what shapes your life was never consciously chosen. Not because you're weak, not because you failed, not because of anything wrong with you, but because agreements were formed in moments where awareness was absent. Language created them, emotions sealed them, repetition sustained them, and over time they became invisible architecture. In the previous episode, we spoke about the ethics of the living word and the responsibility carried in language. In this episode, we step deeper into the unseen layer beneath speech. The agreements formed through belief, repetition, authority, and emotional imprint. Many of the conditions people accept as just the way things are not laws of reality. They are contracts that were never consciously signed. This transmission is not about fighting systems, it's about ending agreement with distortion. Because the moment agreement ends, authorship returns, and you are the sovereign creator of your reality. All right, spoken opening, restoring sovereign consent. I call forth the oversoul stream of Shah Alaris Vathariana and the field of prime source truth. Let every unconscious agreement carried in the body, the voice, and the nervous system come gently into awareness. Let contracts formed through fear, confusion, authority, or repetition loosen their hold. May this transmission restore the original sovereignty of the human being, not through force, not through rebellion, but through remembrance. This is your declaration, so speak after me, the return of authorship. I withdraw my agreement from what diminishes life. I reclaim authority over my voice, my body, and my field. I release contracts formed without conscious consent. I remember that I am the author of my participation in reality. I choose again. And so it is. Core message: how contracts are formed. Contracts do not always appear as documents. Most contracts that shape human behavior are formed through language and repetition. A statement spoken by authority, a belief repeated by family, a cultural phrase absorbed without question. Over time, these statements become internal law. This is just how life is. You have no choice. People like us cannot do that. That is impossible. Those phrases do more than describe a worldview, they create an agreement. And once the body agrees, the nervous system organizes itself around that agreement. Perception narrows, behavior adjusts, possibility collapses. But normal is not the same as natural. Many of the agreements people carry were formed during childhood, during moments of emotional vulnerability, or during times when authority was assumed to be unquestionable. The mind may forget the moment of agreement, but the body does not. The mechanics of unconscious consent. Unconscious contracts are rarely formed through a single event. They are built through repetition. A phrase heard again and again, a belief reinforced by community, a fear confirmed by experience. Each repetition strengthens the agreement. Emotion acts as the seal. When a statement is spoken in fear, shame, anger, or despair, the body records it with intensity. The nervous system treats it as an instruction. Over time, the statement becomes identity, not because it was true, but because it was repeated. This is why sovereignty cannot be reclaimed through argument alone. The contract lives in the nervous system, and the nervous system responds not to force, but to awareness. ending agreement without fighting. Many people attempt to reclaim sovereignty by fighting what they believe has power over them. But fighting a contract often strengthens it because attention is still in agreement. True sovereignty is quieter. It happens the moment awareness recognizes the agreement and withdraws from it, completely withdraws its consent. Not dramatically, not angrily, simply and clearly. I no longer agree with this pattern. This belief is not mine to carry. I release this agreement now. When the nervous system hears language spoken with calm authority, something reorganizes. Space appears where the contract once lived, and in that space, authorship returns. We've got an anchoring practice because, I always like to make you do something with embodiment. It has to be lived to be true. So we're going to withdraw consent. This is what this anchoring practice is. It's all about withdrawing consent. You're going to place one hand over your heart, one over your lower belly or your sacral. You're going to breathe slowly. And now I want you to notice any belief, phrase, or pattern that feels heavy in the body. Keep breathing. Do not analyze it, simply notice it. Now speak quietly. I release agreements formed without my awareness. I withdraw my consent from what diminishes life. I reclaim authorship of my voice, my body, and my path. Take another breath. Feel the subtle shift that occurs when agreement loosens. This is how sovereignty returns. Closing transmission. The author returns. Beloved, the world you inhabit is filled with agreements. Some are chosen consciously, others were inherited through culture, family, and repetition. Sovereignty does not require destroying every structure around you. It requires recognizing where your agreement has been given unconsciously and choosing again. It's also a point to make note of to check and see where you are consciously giving your agreement, but where it may not be aligned as you think it is. When authorship returns to the human being, reality becomes fluid once more. Choices expand, perception opens, and possibility appears. This is not rebellion, it's remembrance. You are not a passive participant in the world. You are a conscious participant in the agreements that shape it. The more of us that withdraw our consent and agreement to these contracts, unconscious and otherwise, the sooner that they fall. It's like cocoa. When the last person remembers that individual dies, then the person is gone forever. Forever. And same thing for this. When the last one of us loosens the hold of those agreements that we have unconsciously agreed to, then they diminish and they evaporate forever. All right, final words, choosing again. You may not have chosen every contract that shaped your past, but you can choose what continues. Awareness dissolves unconscious agreement. Choice restores sovereignty. And from this place, authorship begins again. Choose carefully, choose consciously, choose again. Preview for episode 43, The Voice That Rewrites Reality, speaking the new agreements. Once unconscious contracts dissolve, a new question appears. What will you agree to now? In episode 43, we move beyond realizing distortion and into the conscious creation of new agreements. We will explore how language, breath, and intuition establish patterns that support coherence, sovereignty, and aligned participation in reality. This transmission reveals how new agreements are spoken into the nervous system, how repetition can build life supporting architecture, and how the human voice becomes an instrument for stabilizing a new way of being. Ending contracts is only the beginning. The next step is choosing what replaces them. Prepare to speak the agreements that build the world you are ready to inhabit. Your voice, your throat chakra is not a megaphone, sorry, is not a megaphone, it's a portal. So use it as such. When you're creating through your voice, be aware of what you're saying and bringing into existence. Okay. I love you.